Kelly, you're a midwife. You've dedicated incredible amounts of time teaching women health and nutrition and providing a very important service to people in places that are not right on the main street. So why don't you open up about how you got into that?
Well, yeah, I am definitely a midwife. I'm a registered midwife, but along with that, I'm also a naturopathic. I've done naturopathic studies, and I do, have a ton of
practical
background and practical experience in helping and healing people. I have helped thousands of babies be born into the world, but I've also helped even more of that amount of people in either injury healing or also just prolonged living a better life. When the first disaster hit, which was in Bali, there was the Bali bomb. We created and helped open up a clinic for women and children over in Bali in lieu of that. There was some money that was coming, and then we helped open up a free clinic. Now, when you open up a free clinic for women and children in developing nations, you're going to get everybody stopping by that has had car accidents, moped accidents, anybody who's lost a finger, anybody who's having a heart attack, any and all things come into a clinic when you open up a clinic. So I can say, yes, I've specialized in women and children, but in that path, it's been all people in pretty much all different types of ailments. And then we went on to open up a clinic in the Aceh province. We were there 2 weeks after the earthquake and the tsunami.
In Malabo, Sumatra, which was the epicenter, the 9.0 earthquake, just beat big trucks on the ground for 10 minutes. And then an hour later, a tsunami came in and wiped out 200,000-300,000 people in this area.
Yeah. So Malabo went from a town of, I believe, about 240,000 to about 32,000. So we moved a clinic to that zone and area 2 weeks after. And you can imagine, because there wasn't any other medical care there at all, then, we were getting all patients. So I feel pretty confident in saying that now my background is in all health and wellness for all people. I'm even pulling out teeth. I'm pulling out infected teeth. I'm dealing with, crazy things. There was a bamboo in a woman's leg that went all the way from the bottom of her leg all the way up to her hip. And if I wasn't the one that was going to do the surgery, there wasn't anybody else there. So then when I did that first surgery, then, the people just started lining up. They felt like it was a safe clinic to be able to come to in Malabo. So people were walking 5 days to come to our clinic.
Along with Midwives, we organized Midwifery meetings. So Midwives walked for 2 and 3 days to have a special meeting with her and other midwives that you were working with.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, the people that were coming to be there with us were coming solo because they would have lost all of their other family members. If there was one family member that was alive, then there was a huge celebration that 2 people from one household would be able to be together. So, dealing with that intense energy of total disproportionate unhealth and trauma. And then trying to bring health, balance, continuity, communication, love, well-being, safety back to a group of people that had gone through that. That's where I feel like it is truly my specialty, because then we went on to help out in Haiti. We were another first group that arrived there in Haiti. So for us to come into a garden or to consult somebody on a farm that is having the same type of trauma, it's easy for us to bring similarities in these experiences that we've had on the planet, to bring similarities into walking into a zone that has been really harmed, both emotionally, microbiota, also, how do we bring balance? So it's really been this incredible journey of Josh and I being together from day one, 30 years ago on April 1st, that we're bringing health and healing vibrations and balance to those areas on the planet that are in need of it.
And we did all that in Indonesia, also in collaboration with a group called EDEP, which was the Indonesian Department of Education and Permaculture. So we were also working on a lot of farming modalities as well, because as Kelly stated, you can't have a healthy pregnant birth without nutrition, and that's where we truly learned most about how gardens, that's where you really see where gardens affect nutrition and how do you make your garden nutritious, so those were very impressionable times.
And a lot like, that the plant is a symptom of the soil is a lot like the placenta is a symptom of the nutrition within the woman. So all of those thousands of births that I've been honored to be a part of, we've taken pictures of the placenta and have noticed the nutritional value that those people have had, or the trauma that those people have been under, or the nutrition that is valuable to the area or to their religion, or how is this all relating to the overall health of humanity and the overall health of the plants and the environment around them,
or the overall cognitive response to a child becoming a person. You can see a truly well-rounded baby just advances through all of the progressions of a human when they have what it takes. And not everyone can give their child what it takes. We know that. You know what I mean? We know that. We know that there's like perfect, and then there's I wish I had perfect.
But we know that when they're going to come to the clinic, that they're going to get a chicken and they're going to get a hen that's going to lay some eggs for them. And then when they come again, they're not even going to be able to be seen unless they're breastfeeding their babies. Because when you go into developing nations, it's seen as, that you might have more status if you've got a bottle, that the baby is feeding on a bottle, or you have more status if they're doing things that are more Western culture rather than their traditional cultures. So for us to really instill and educate that those traditional cultures are king, that is queen, that is what's going to help out your children. So, and all the while having to bury placentas and having to bury limbs of people's bodies, and them not having, what are they going to do with it? Well, Josh and I were able to come in and have a lot of solutions for Médecins Sans Frontières and the WHO of using microbiology to deal with these issues, rather than big, huge incinerators to incinerate placentas, which we really didn't have. And doctors and a lot of different people coming to us with solutions that didn't make sense in that zone at all. Like, give me a break. Some of the solutions, they're bringing in tons of dried baby formula. So WHO brings into these areas dried baby formula. Well, first of all, if we're giving formula to babies, then mother's milk is going to dry up, babies will die. And second of all, it's dried. Where are we going to get clean water? Like the thought of some of what people feel is healthy and what is wellness is absolutely ridiculous. So then, awesome, I'll take a whole pallet of formula, and I'm just going to start giving it to the mothers. And then the mothers are going to be eating and drinking the formula, and the babies are not going to have anything to do with that. It's just basic knowledge that we can pick up from just watching nature. We're always trying to re-explain nature. It runs so perfectly. and all of this integrated head work of the human being trying to outsmart what nature is already there for us. So for us to go to developing nations to reteach their own traditional ways of health and wellness, to me seems really ridiculous. And it's the same as when we go to places to reteach people what the soil can truly offer them without these NPK bullshit that they think is an elevated education for them to use. So then you have to start asking, what is education doing to us, and why are we going to school for 12 years to learn about something that really doesn't have anything to do with our health and wellness? Like, at all. Great, I learned algebra, awesome, I can do it on a computer. Like, what? So I think that in this realization of our life is just, it's big to recognize that what you've been fed as valuable may not be so valuable, and that it takes digging deeper than what's just given to you on an instant platter. We need to dig deeper for our health and wellness.
We did bring a lot of natural.
I rambled on there.
She did ramble on Rose, Grateful Dead, but we also did bring a lot of natural farming practices to Haiti in 2010 and brought EM mother culture at the time, you know, because we were also working on indigenous microorganisms as well. But SCD probiotics, give thanks. And Kansas City did help us out with a lot of stuff. And Dr. Teru Ohiga has amazing PDFs, you know, on closed loop farming. And those are some of the first ones that we read before Master Cho and Jadam and the whole Young San Cho style.
So we were already closed loop before that.
Just saying, we
took
our closed loop stuff we were already doing, added the other stuff that we were doing, and made it that biodiverse farming practice, just like Kelly learning midwifery in the 90s was learning in a garden while gardening all day long, growing the herbs that you're going to be using to give to the women that you're helping. So, you know, literally it's just,
well, I mean,
everything.
What paid for the clinics? What paid for the clinics?